Good morning, Bucknuts. It's Tuesday, October 11th, 2016. I'm Dan Rubin. This is Bucknuts Morning 5 and Change. Joined on a crisp fall morning here in the Gem City via phone, live, on tape, by Duane Long. Duane, how are you this fine morning?
Looking forward to those crisp mornings.
Ah, yes, weather talk. Can only look forward to the part of my day when someone from the West Coast mentions how it's 75 and sunny. But such has become the routine. Another routine, complaints about the passing game. If you go on the front row right now, really the time spent since the win over Indiana has been a dissection of the Ohio State passing game. Everything else seemed to be played up to what has been the season standard so far, pretty much. Then there's great concern about the passing game. Duane, here's my question. I've asked it to virtually everybody. Is this a huge issue with the passing game, or did J.T. Barrett simply miss on 4 or 5 deep balls that he should have hit?
A friend who's a pretty knowledgeable football fan was at the game, and he said J.T. had guys open consistently, and he just was not cutting it loose. Now, whether he was not seeing them or whether he just didn't feel like he could get the ball there, we don't know. But he said that the receivers were creating separation regularly, and the ball just wasn't coming out. So, and my other concern is that what happens when the passing game is not working real well is that we run one play. We run the quarterback, whether it's a draw or options, whatever. It's the quarterback keeps the ball. And we saw that did not work against a really good Michigan State defense last year. And here we are up next couple of games, I think, are we're going to see an upgrading opponent. Kind of glad Wisconsin appears to be a little beat up, especially on defense. But, we're going to see an upgrading opponent. Maybe, Indiana was better than I thought they would be. And we're not working out there. The passing game is not working, but I don't think shutting down and not throwing the ball, no imagination whatsoever in the running game, just give the quarterback, takes the ball. We don't even need to huddle. So, I'm concerned, I'd say, about the offense in general. Well, I don't understand why when the passing is not working, we still can't try to do something. And we don't. We just give the ball. JT just takes off.
You referenced the trip to Camp Randall coming up, obviously a huge game. Part of me wants to think that Ohio State, I'm not going to say they were sandbagging versus Indiana, but they weren't very creative. Is it possible that they were holding things in the quiver for Wisconsin?
Well, when you see that we've done other things earlier, we've shown so much already. So I don't see why we would do that. And here's the thing, Dan, we've got a history with this. Passing game is not there, quarterback run. That's what we do. Not even giving it to the running back. We're not, little things like just how about a long handoff? How about a split screen? Stuff that is just basic pitch and catch. We stopped doing that. So if we didn't have a history of shutting it down, I think there would be more to what you're saying as a possibility that it's just we don't want to show anything. History says that's not true.
Let's talk a little bit about Wisconsin. They've got some quality wins this year. They beat LSU, struggled a little bit against Michigan, but they seem to be basically a mash unit heading into this game. They're missing several players. They're missing their best player on defense, I think, in Vince Beagle. What's your scouting report on the Badgers as the Buckeyes set for Camp Randall?
Mash unit is the one thing that comes to mind, is just how beat up they are, especially on defense, was the strength of the team. They're not a real good running team. I've watched them full 2 games, Michigan State and Michigan, and they're not the usual. We're used to seeing Wisconsin. If they can't do anything else, they can run the ball effectively, and they just don't have it this year. Back is pretty average. I can't remember his name. Quarterback, if you give him time, he can complete passes. We saw two completely different styles of defense in the Michigan State and Michigan games. Michigan State sat back, did not really come after this kid, and I think they were thinking, well, he's young, he'll make a bad read, and we'll get our hands on one or two or more. Michigan said, forget that, and just cut loose and had him shook. He doesn't move real well, and it was a much more effective strategy against him. So I expect us to really get after this kid and not let him get settled in. And he's a pretty accurate thrower, doesn't have a big arm, but he's got enough arm. That's what I think is going to happen. I think we win this game on defense. I'd love to see us win it on offense. But right now, I don't know what we're going to see, Dan. We scored 38 points, and it was a 21-point win. Then it still was not real pretty. It wasn't fun to watch. It wasn't easy to watch. One of the announcers said that we had not completed a pass since the first quarter, and that was sometime either late in the third or early in the fourth quarter. That's insane. But for one thing, we weren't attempting to pass. We got to get that straightened out.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know how much of it was they could run the ball so well. Yes, they couldn't pass, but they were rushing the ball. I think they finished something like 290 yards rushing, which is just off the charts. And they have shown a penchant for showing up in big games under the lights, and so has JT. So I'm going to reserve some hope here, and I think we're going to see a little bit more out of the Noah Browns and the Paris Campbells of the world. I think if he hits on a few of those deep balls, my thing is if he hits two of those deep balls and there's no penalty on the interception return, this is just like every other game. I'm not sure if it's as big of a hullabaloo. I don't know that, obviously. I'm kind of wishful thinking. We shall see. I will say, again, I think Barrett has earned the right of first refusal or the benefit of the doubt in terms of going on the road at night with what he did at Michigan State in 2014, what he did at Oklahoma. So I'm hoping he can do the same at Camp Randall. Okay, we've reached the standard portion of the show, which has now become, I think, more interesting, or maybe not. Duane's eye test top 5 for the nation. Take it away.
I'm still giving Ohio State number 1. I have not seen anything out of Alabama except, what if the SEC was better this year? It's really not a great conference this year. Alabama may not be undefeated. Number 3, Clemson seems to have found their game, and they've got the most dynamic quarterback in the country. Number 4, I'm going with Washington. They are just running through the Pac-12 like it's the little sisters of the poor conference. They're just killing it out there. They got a real good quarterback, an underrated guy out there. And number 5, I'm going with Texas A&M. Tennessee is the worst 5-0 team we've seen in a long time, but Texas A&M, they went in and they beat them. And Texas A&M is undefeated. So that I do have a 5th team for the first time in a couple of weeks.
It may not be the 5th team everyone thought it would be, but then again, this is Bucknuts. We appreciate Duane stopping by. Have a great one, everybody.